Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, your host, as always, Andrew O'Hara, and joining me this week on the second half of the episode will be Siobhan Adcock, who is from Consumer Reports, as we break down some of the latest baby tech that you can find. We'll be talking about smart bassinets, privacy and security when it comes to baby tech that you are bringing into your home, and much more. I know it's a little bit niche, but I think it's a really good topic and something that is continuing to evolve, and we're starting to see a little bit more of the baby tech be brought into the smart home. So join me for that in the second half of the episode, but we're going to start. I'll break down all the news for you, so let's get into that. Starting off with Sonos. Sonos says that they are making Tom Conrad their permanent CEO. So if everyone recalls, he was brought in as an interim CEO. He's been on the board since I think 2017, brought in as interim CEO after the last CEO stepped down. And everything seems to have been going well. So the board is confident in keeping him on board. He is going to be staying as the permanent CEO going into the future. Personally, I like Tom Conrad. I think he will be a good CEO for Sonos. They've done a lot of really great work since he has been brought on there. My biggest bummer, is the axing of the smart TV product that we were hoping for. I was personally really hoping for. So that's kind of like my only pain point for this. But other than that, I'm really excited to what we're going to see from Sonos coming up. They say there's a very exciting new roadmap of products that they are working on. So always excited for more hardware. We've had some recent software updates to the Sonos platforms, including Sonos updates, Sonos Ace updates, the headphones, which I have sitting on my desk here, that now two of them can connect to the Sonos Arc Ultra at the same time, so you can connect two of them to your sound bar, so both of you guys can listen to your TV through headphones if you'd like. A few other changes have gone on, including better ANC for different hair types, like if it's not perfectly sealed on your ear, things like that. So I really like the Ace headphones. I just like Sonos stuff in general, so I think Tom Conrad's going to be doing a good job. So we'll see how that progresses, and I'll keep you guys updated with any new products that they announce. SwitchBot has announced that their Humidifier will be gaining full native Matter support and will be Matter 1.4 support in the next update. So originally, this I think launched last year, and it's an evaporative humidifier. They're really good. I really like them. And what makes these, what SwitchBot does that I think is unique and makes them so kind of exciting is how their products work together. So many of them work with HomeKit and Matter, but they also work well with each other. And this is a perfect example of that. So this humidifier works in tandem with the S10 RoboVac. Now the S10 RoboVac is your standard smart home vacuum cleaner, supports Matter, can do all the stuff around your house like cleaning and mopping. But what happens is they actually have a second base station located in like your bathroom or washroom, and it'll go in there and refill the water tank. And then it can come back and refill its docking station to be used to clean its mop and refill it, all that kind of stuff. But the same thing works with the humidifier. So when your humidifier is low on water, the S10 vacuum will wake up, go to your bathroom or washroom, wherever that dock is located, fill up from your water line, and then transport it back to the humidifier. Amazing. It's a humidifier that you never have to refill. It has a 7-layer filtration process to make sure all the water is clean before it is going into your air, but it's so cool. I mean, one of the pain points with humidifiers is keeping them refilled with water. This solves that issue. So I'm all about it. It's also not very expensive. It's like $150 right now, so not terrible. The update will be coming out in August, so just in time for the cool season, right? Right now, when we are in summer, it's ridiculous. I'm going to talk about a dehumidifier here in a second, but we're going to go into winter. This update is going to land in August to bring that native Matter support. Now, these currently do support Matter. If you have a SwitchBot hub, you can connect it to the SwitchBot hub, bring it into Matter, bring it into Apple Home, stuff like that. But this will be full native Matter over Wi-Fi if you're looking for that. It's just nice because you don't have to have other SwitchBot stuff. You can just pick this up and use it as a humidifier or expand your existing SwitchBot lineup. So keep an eye out for that. Put a link for it down in the show notes. So that's a humidifier. It puts moisture into your air. Well, if you or anyone I'm here in the northeast, Midwest, Northeast. Things have been hot and humid to a ridiculous level. I mean, we have been 80s, 90s, just crazy warm for weeks now. But on top of that, the humidity has been insane. And I cannot take it anymore. It's been so bad. So I felt like I really need to get a proper dehumidifier for the house. We wanted to get one for the basement for the longest time, but there's never been a good one that supported Matter or Apple Home. So I just never spent the money on a good one, but it's been so bad. It just feels swampy. And like, I'm not even kidding. Like, we had popcorn the other day. Within like a couple hours, the popcorn was soggy because it had absorbed water from the air. It's bad. So I did end up buying one. But when I looked on Amazon, everything is insane. Like, there's 1,000 dehumidifiers that all look kind of ugly, and there's a bunch of them. And I have no idea which of these to trust, to try. I don't know. So my thought was going with a middle of the road, dumb air purifier. That way, the money that I'm spending is for the actual purification and not for any like wireless connectivity, app development, stuff like that. And then using it in tandem with a smart switch and Apple Home. So after doing quite a bit of research, I found one that specifically shows in its product photos like smart switch compatible. Perfect. It also had another feature I wanted, which was multiple ways of draining the water. So when it's like upstairs, we want it just to filter into like its own bucket, like its own reservoir, which it does. But then there's two options. One, you can connect a garden hose if you're going to run this like outside or something. And option number 3, I guess, would be a tube that they include that you could put into like your basement drain pipe. So I like this has 3 options: reservoir, garden hose, drainage tube. So we got multiple drainage options there, water collection options there. There's no app support, and I can control with HomeKit and all of that. It does read your room's humidity, and you can have multiple modes you set on there, whether it is target humidity mode, it'll just keep it at a certain level, or you can just leave it perpetually on. Right now, I plugged this thing in, and out of the gate, it was over 70% humidity. And after like some Googling, it seems like most people want it between 30, maybe 50 at the highest, and we're at over 70. It is so bad in here. So I've had it like running overnight, and it's doing a good job. So I like this one, but it just really kind of circles back to why don't we have any of these? I've reached out to a couple of different companies, including Govee, saying, hey, do you guys have anything coming up? And they're focused on like lighting and other products. I think they used to have one that supported HomeKit or Matter. Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just making up in my head. But I can't find anything that works with HomeKit or Matter out there on the market. I know we've had this as a user question, and I still don't have a better answer than using a dumb one, middle of the road one, and a smart switch. So personally, I have an Eve Room 2 in our living room. I have the dehumidifier, and then I have an Eve outlet that is plugged into. And if it goes down below like 30, it'll shut off. But other than that, just on continuous mode, running around the clock, we'll see where this gets us. So I'm trying this out. I'll let you guys know how it works long term, but hopefully I can upgrade at some point to a native Matter or HomeKit one. Okay, one last thing here before we get into our interview. I have a new wallet that I've been testing out, and I'm pretty excited by it. So we've talked a lot about MagSafe wallets on the show. I did a whole roundup of MagSafe trackable smart wallets, and there weren't any that like worked perfectly for what I was looking for, and this one isn't perfect either, but it's closer. So this, I'm holding it up on the video version, is the Journey Locate Versa wallet, and Locate is spelled LOC 8, like the number, but the Locate Versa wallet, and they did a lot of really good things. So first, it's actual leather. A lot of the other ones I've seen are faux leather, pleathers, eco leathers, whatever material you want to call it, but not leather. And I'm okay if you don't want leather, but my problem with a lot of those is over time, that hinge area can get distressed and can really start to show some wear. And I think that actual leather, while it does have a tendency to stretch out in certain areas, I think it holds up better over time. So I prefer the whole like Napa leather on the outside of this. Still has a bit of a coating. It doesn't feel like super soft leather, but so it's a little bit of a plasticky coating to it. But we'll see how it holds up. But I do like the actual feel of it. On the outside, you can see we can hold 3 different cards. It has a little cutout in both the top left and bottom right-hand corners, and there's a little metal Journey logo, which is just kind of a nice touch. I like the little like not heathered, but the rustic metal emblem that they put on there that just looks nice. Then it opens up. When it opens up, we've got a few different things. Let me take out numbers that people can see. On one side, we have 2 more card slots. So in total, this will hold 5 cards. It also has a money clip, so you can put in business cards, cash, receipts, anything like that you need to hold. So you have 5 cards total, plus a money clip, and it folds in on itself to become a stand. So if you have your iPhone with this connected, prop it up, use it as a little stand. I need a stand because I always give it to my kid if he's trying to watch a show or something. This is really helpful for that. So the stand for me is necessary. The only thing that I kind of wish it had, like it's already getting a little bit thick, but the only thing I kind of wish I had that I missed from the ESR one I used previously was the finger grip. I really liked having that finger grip in there just to hold on to. So I missed that a little bit, but it is a bit thicker than most of the other ones that I have tried. So far, so good. I don't mind the thickness in actual use, but I understand the kind of trade-offs there. As I said, this works with Find My, so you can add this to the Find My app, just as you would any other Find My enabled product. And best of all, compared to ESR, no pogo pin charger, pure MagSafe or Qi. Just put it on any Qi or MagSafe charger, it will charge it up, lasts like 3 to 5 months. But I think the benefit here is like with the other one, you had to bring that cable with you if you needed it. But I think this will be good because you can just like set it down and it charges. You always have like a charger with you. If you travel with a MagSafe charger or charging stand, you can always charge this thing up. So it's a little bit more universal that way. So I'm a big fan of this. It's got a speaker built in, just overall great. This is the one I'm currently using, but if you guys have any other suggestions and wants to check out, you guys know how to reach me. So let's go ahead, get into our interview with Consumer Reports on baby tech. But first, let's take a break and talk about our sponsors. So we have Function Health again, and I am still watching more of my results roll in. If you guys are following this saga, you know that I have signed up for Function Health. I chose to do this where I can get some blood work done and I can see a ton of information about myself. Like I have learned so many things and spent so long digging through the Function app. As a type 1 diabetic, I really closely monitor a lot of my different health vitals here at home. Like I watch like my weight and my heart rate and blood oxygen levels, my other version of the Apple Watch. I track my sleep. I track all sorts of different things that I can from home. And my doctors even track, plenty of things too, like my A1C and like other tests that they have me do. But there's still so much that they don't do. And sometimes just getting your doctor to order something is a pain in the butt. One of my good friends, Sarah, she was just complaining. Like she's trying to figure out what's going on with her because she doesn't feel right. And she can't get her doctors to order basic tests because like, oh, well, you probably don't need it. So it's like, why spend money on it? Well, something like Function Health is perfect like that because you take control over it. You are not just waiting for a doctor to approve or not approve things. You can just go and do it. You are taking control of your health and understanding you best. It gives you that data, and to me, data is power. So really, I went in twice. You go in for your first blood test, you go in and then get a second draw, and they send those off. And I started getting results like right away. Within like a day or two, my data started piling in. So far I have now 100 biomarkers. I think there's over 160 or around 160 that Function Health test. You can also get a bunch of additional labs done, whether it's like CT scans, MRIs, like Alzheimer's ones that my wife was interested in. There's a bunch of them that you can add on depending on what you are interested in learning more about. So then you get all these results back, and it tells you how many are in range, how many are out of range, and over time, how many are improving. So you can continue to get tests and see how you are evolving, getting healthier, or maybe unhealthier. But you can learn about it. Then I love when you get the results. It actually tells you what they mean in plain English. Like it gives you the actual values, it shows you what is in range, what's not in range, and then why you should or shouldn't care about what the result is. So after you get all of your results in, then you'll get clinic notes with even more follow-up. They even have a little alpha thing here in the app where it gives you like an action plan on like food or supplements that may make sense for you based on your results. So this is amazing. I literally just sit in bed reading my results as they come in and learning about all these different things, whether you're worrying about like how your skin is, your vitamin D, are you vitamin D deficient? If you want to learn about your antibodies, ferritin, which is essential for oxygen transport and cellular energy production, so many things. So try it out, please. Like this is really cool. I think this is a really neat thing to be able just to take control of your health and learn a lot more about yourself in the process. So if you guys want to try it out for yourself, you can learn more using my link. The first 1,000 get a $100 credit towards their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/HomeKit. It's all uppercase HomeKit, or use gift code HomeKit100, all uppercase HomeKit100 at sign up to own your health. Thank you to Function Health for sponsoring the episode. Then we have Shopify, old friends at Shopify. Who doesn't love it? And we just went on like a little mini vacation, and right before we left, we were using Shopify again. We were checking out Homage for some new t-shirts, and I found like one from Glengarry and Ross, and there's also a whole bunch from Simpsons ones on there. Like this is an ad for Homage at all. It's just like a Columbus company that I love, but it's all done through Shopify and a shop website. And like we're looking on it, and my wife gets to the checkout. She's like, okay, I can recognize this as a shop website. Like you immediately know that checkout process. So Shopify is great for everyone. It's like a win-win-win situation, as you know, Michael Scott would say. It's great for the company because it's fantastic converting checkout, really easy to set up and get going, and it scales from a small company to a big company and everything in between. You can make a website without having to know anything, but then you can also have a bunch of cool custom plugins and design work and all this extra stuff done if you're a big company and you really want to personalize the entire experience. It's great for people who are just managing a company like IT and managers and founders because it makes things really easy to do, to set it up, get going. You don't have to know anything about like shipping or taxes or anything like that. It just handles so much of the stuff for even inventory. It handles for you even between a physical location and online. You can do ship to store stuff. Super cool. Generate gift codes and gift cards and whatever else you want to do. It just handles it all for you. It's so easy to do. And then it's great for customers because it's such a joy to shop on a Shopify website. When you get the checkout process, you can just instantly check out using Shop Pay. You go there, they send you a code, you put it in, you pay in like 2 seconds, it's done. Or you can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Shop Pay, we talked about that one, or just enter your credit card information. But when you see it, you recognize it and you know that it's trustworthy. You may not know that website that you're shopping from, but when you see a Shopify checkout, you know you're protected, which just gives you that added peace of mind. You can track your order too from when you submit it to when it is actually being fulfilled. Then you can leave a review afterward and use the Shop app to find more cool stores. It's where I find my gift shopping a lot of time because I find other brands that I like based on what I buy. And I find things for me as well as for other people too. So check it out if you haven't already. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for a $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/HomeKit. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/HomeKit. Shopify.com/HomeKit. Okay, we are back. Now joining me is Siobhan Adcock, if I got that right. Adcock?
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get. Okay. Perfect. So Siobhan Adcock from Consumer Reports. We previously had I've already forgotten who I had on that podcast last time.
Dan, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dan, who is fantastic. Sorry, as I was just talking to Siobhan, I just got back from a vacation, so my head is literally like fog. It is foggy in there. But let's talk. So Siobhan here, she is the director of content development in the baby category for Consumer Reports. So that's what I'm very excited about. As many people listening to the podcast know, we just had our second little one, little Ellie. She is a little over 3 weeks old now at this point. So stuff in the baby space changes both very fast and very slow. So I'm very excited to catch up. Let's talk about all things kind of baby tech. I know we're going into a niche topic on a niche show, so hopefully there are enough out there that are kind of jazzed by this. But I'm excited. So we're gonna have a great talk here. Before we get into the actual topic, tell me a little bit about you. How'd you get into baby tech and Consumer Reports, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll talk into actual gear.
Thanks. Well, thanks so much for having me, first of all, and congratulations to you. You are in it, right? Like when you're in that those first couple of weeks, it just feels like every day is apocalypse now. So I know you're in the middle of like a tough period. I got into the baby space because I kind of feel like babies and toddlers are really fascinating. They're like aliens among us. That neurological development, the sensory development that's happening in those early weeks and months is just really interesting. It's more mysterious and cool than like the most like crazy thriller. And I feel like there's some interesting technology that's starting to develop that's going to unlock a lot of that mystery for us. So from like a very deeply nerdy, geeky level, I'm kind of into that. So for my job, what I do is I work with our testing teams at Consumer Reports to write content that comes from our original independent testing of baby products and gear, from car seats to strollers to baby monitors to diapers. And then I also work with our policy and safety and advocacy experts on investigative reporting that just tries to make the world a safer, better, fairer place for babies and the grown-ups that love them. So, really interested in babies and toddlers just because, they're interesting to me. And then also, like the issues I think are really important and vital. So when you look at the baby gear space, as you said really well, it's developing really fast and it's developing really slow. Like a lot of the pain points remain the same. It's like it's sleep, it's feeding, it's like understanding what these little people who don't have words and don't have control of their bodies, like what do they want from us, right? And then it's also, the pain points for us parents, like we have to go back to work and work like we don't parent and parent like we don't work, a lot of us, right? Or, we're kind of struggling with pain points that our little humans are dealing with and trying to solve their problems. So a lot of the gear and a lot of the products that have emerged in this space, especially the smart baby gear, has tried to hack these issues or solve these problems in interesting ways. And that I think is it's just taking the baby gear space in an interesting direction. You, I'm sure, are aware of the great monumental achievement in children's television known as Dinosaur Train, right? Like my husband and I always joke, like, dinosaur and train. Why did it take human civilization so long to combine dinosaur and train? Dinosaur train, yes, like those two things belong together. And a lot of things in the baby space are like, oh yeah, like this and this. Why did it take so long for these two things to actually just become combined? That actually totally makes sense. So, when you look at a lot of the innovations in the baby gear space, you're like, oh yeah, why did it take so long for us to combine a car seat and a night light? Oh yeah, a lot of driving happens at night. Why did we not think to combine a bassinet and a white noise maker, or right? A lot of the innovations happen in this place where parents are actually thinking, it would be nice if it did more than one thing at the same time, right? So I'm sure you're seeing that with a lot of things that you're using with your new little one.
100%. And it's funny talking to people like my parents or my mother-in-law who are like, well, back when, and everyone's got their stories on whatever they had to do back in the time, whether it's boiling the bottles to sanitize and heat things up and all sorts of things like that, to where we've gotten now. It's yes, in some ways it's easier, some ways other things are different, but I'm still very excited by how much stuff has changed. Like the smart bassinets, and I have a few items that I'll talk about that are kind of my favorites right now. And I want to know what else is new because it seems to happen so quickly. But a few of the things like the Ember bottle is so brilliant. Like they took that smart coffee tech, which has been hit or miss for some people. Like, do I really need it to heat up when I can just use a Yeti? Like sometimes that seems like it's a little excess. But then when I'm like, I can take just an empty bottle and some baby powder, like formula, and make a bottle anywhere we are without having to do anything. Just press a button and it heats up to the perfect temperature and I'm ready to go. It's like, how did we not have, like, it's such a crazy thing. So yeah. Well, what's new? Give me a high level. What's kind of new right now? What are the things that you're excited for? I know there was just the recent Baby Expo going on, which I will link. They do have a write-up. Consumer Reports has a whole write-up about that. So I will put that link in the show notes for anyone who wants to dig into it. But give us the high level on kind of what you saw from that.
Yeah. Every year in May, the ABC Kids Expo happens out in Las Vegas, and representatives from a lot of the big baby gear brands and the the various media outlets that cover them kind of converge out in Las Vegas under the broiling sun to test drive a bunch of strollers. So we were out there to kind of check out some of the things that were new, and we saw a lot of sort of the trends that we're seeing are a lot of products that are designed to go through multiple stages. So I think increasingly baby gear and stroller and furniture manufacturers are aware that parents need to get a lot of mileage for their money. So a lot of cribs and strollers and bassinets and and you name it are designed to go through multiple stages of a baby's life. So you get like convertible cribs that start as a bassinet and then convert to a crib and then convert to a toddler bed and then convert to a like a full-size bed. You have a lot of smart technology that's being applied to everything. So we saw smart bassinets that are claiming to apply predictive and assistive and interpretive technology to babies' cries and to baby sleep patterns, which I think is a really interesting trend. So we've seen, for example, with starting with like the Snoo and the CradleWise, and then moving into other monitors like the Motorola Pippa that's coming out this fall, which kind of uses the same kind of assistive or interpretive AI technology that the Maxi Cozy Starling bassinet uses to interpret your baby's cries and sleep patterns to help you and your family get a better night's sleep, right? So these products are I think, part of just an overall trend of using technology to help families get through the night, just a little bit better rested. In theory, I am all for this, right? I think that this is a great move. I will say that I think that one thing that parents maybe want to remember, like it's just such a, like there's all this free-floating anxiety in those early months as parents that makes us reach for, the full-featured, like, DEFCON 5, like give me everything you got, baby tech. And there's a part of me that's really attracted to, that application of technology to common pain points for parents. And I will also say that I think, parents need to trust their own instincts too, because there's no monitor or app or smart bassinet that will ever read your baby better than you do as a parent, right? Like you are your baby's best monitor. And the reason for that is because every baby is unique and original and individual, and they have their own speech patterns and their own sleep patterns, and you'll get to know them, right? You really will. And your baby's original, and that even the smartest smart bassinet was built on an assembly line, right? So there's just like an inherent gap maybe between like your parent instincts and even the smartest smart product, but undeniably, these things are really cool. So some of them come with, like an app that you can use to log your baby's sleep and to help you analyze like their week windows and, help them, help understand like what their cries are. Is it a hungry cry? Is it a sleepy cry? Is it a I'm wet cry? Right? Like all of these infant communication patterns that parents maybe in the first weeks especially need a little help interpreting. So those are some of the trends that we saw coming out of the Baby Expo this spring, and it's kind of just part of a bigger macro trend of applying interesting interpretive technology to common parent and baby pain points.
I agree. It really feels like we're starting to see some actual good applications of a few of these things, whether it's AI or the app stuff. Some of the early app adding seemed very unnecessary. Like they just stuck Bluetooth into everything that they could.
Yeah.
But now it's,
Right.
I mean, I swear, even like a few years ago, maybe they had these things I didn't know, but like trying to find a baby monitor that did both Wi-Fi and like a portable was like impossible. Like I wanted a portable that was like a screen that was always up that we could just glance at and see that used like the RF stuff or whatever. But I also wanted to be able to pull it up on my phone if I had like, walked away from the monitor or something like that. And I couldn't even find one 3 years ago that did that. And now it seems like there are several that do that, which is really handy.
Yeah.
But I want to, how about, I'm jumping around a little bit in, my notes here, but why do you think baby tech, like as much as like new stuff comes out and evolves, why do you think it's kind of slow to be adding some of these features, especially like into the smart home? Because we have like, HomeKit for cameras. Like Arlo had come out with a baby cam, had little ears, had HomeKit support built in as well as its app, and they ended support for that one. And we haven't really had anything else that added that. Similar with like, voice control, Apple's Assistant. I have the Even Flow Sensory Soothe car seat, which has, I almost said the name, Apple Assistant shortcuts. And it's amazing. You can just drive, like you're driving on the car, Ellie starts fussing, and I can say, oh, Apple Assistant, turn on this noise or turn on this color thing. And it can set that scene on the car seat to help soothe her. And you'll know, like you said, like you'll start to understand what she needs. Like, okay, does she need like the flashing lights or does she need some white noise? Like whatever it happens to be in that moment. So you can have multiple scenes to do different things. But I'm like, these are so useful. Why has it taken so long for some of those smart home elements to be baked into baby products?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. I think there's a few answers, and I'm gonna try to address them maybe in order of like obvious to maybe less obvious. But one of the most obvious ones is that like the window of usefulness for a lot of these innovations is kind of short in comparison to the window of usefulness for like your average tech product. So when you look at like how long you use the average smart bassinet, for example, a bassinet is really only useful in terms of like a baby's lifespan until they start to push up onto hands and knees or start to show signs of being able to roll over, at which point you need to, for safe sleep standards, basically kind of move them out of the bassinet. So that happens within the first like 4 or 5 months of a baby's life. Smart bassinets can cost $2,000, right? So it's really kind of like this cost benefit analysis of like, are you gonna pour that much money and investment and effort and innovation into a product that can only be used for the first few months of a baby's life, right? So that I think is one answer to the question of like, why do we see kind of like a slower adoption flow maybe of interesting innovations in smart baby tech? Because the window of opportunity and the window of usefulness of a lot of these innovations is just, it's narrower. I think, maybe another reason is, related to that cost question, right? So if you have a product that is, only going to be used within the first 12 to 24 months, parenting is already really, really, really expensive, right? And you have a lot of products that you have to buy within the first couple of years of your baby's life. I used to joke that like your wedding registry is a bunch of stuff that you want but don't need, and your baby registry is a bunch of stuff that you need but don't want. So like you have to buy just a bunch of gear. It's like, I don't know anything about this. What's a 5-point harness and why do I need one? What is like, all of these things that you have to become a subject matter expert on really quickly and drop a ton of money on, or, at your baby shower or whatever it is, ask your friends and family to buy these things for you as presents. It's a lot. So, I think that you see, in the interest of keeping costs down, to keep the products themselves within reach for parents, maybe less innovation or sort of technological investment is going into these products, which then kind of makes the products themselves a little bit less attractive, right? So those are the two reasons why I think, just looking at the industry itself, like, you just don't see really amazing, jaw-dropping smart home innovations flooding into the baby space. It's typically like a trickle-down effect where the cool stuff is happening in the sort of like general pop, like it's for adults first, and then it kind of trickles its way into the baby space and into baby gear. And we kind of get it a couple years later, and it's a little less cool looking, like the app interface is a little less polished, it's a little less refined. It's like, some parent coder's passion project that they've taken on because it was something that their company had already developed, right? So that, just speaking in very, very general terms, I think that is maybe what's happening. Yeah.
I think what I've noticed too, and I know so much of this will come down to, we all know how we get into the algorithms, right? Like, the algorithm shows you things that you want to see. So I'm aware that I'm probably in this algorithmic bubble, but even with like the first kid moving into the second kid, I've started to see a lot more, probably compared to how it used to be, more people or men being excited about being dads. And it feels like, originally a lot of stuff was just marketed to the moms, and they're probably, in general, less likely to want something gadgety. Like, they want your basic stuff that's going to work. They're not just going to, oh, can I control it with my voice? Is that really cool? I think that plays a part of it. And now I'm seeing so many other, like, YouTubers that I know that are becoming dads or have been dad for a few years that are talking about more smart baby tech. Like Quinn Nelson over at Snazzy Labs has been, he just became a dad, and he's been very excited about things like the Ember. And I'm like, yes, it's the best. Like, it's such a cool little random gadgety thing that solves a real pain point. So I feel like that's starting to be part of it. It's a little bit of a culture shift of, men embracing being dads more, and we're having more of these gadgety baby tech things to go along with it, and I'm really excited about that.
And maybe the door's swinging the other way too, right? Like, guys are becoming more gadgety, guys are becoming more dads, and moms are becoming more gadgety, right? Like,
all the women in the smart home, let's go.
We do, like, this.
I mean,
this is our lifeline, right? We plan our pediatrician appointments and our play dates, and we order our diapers, and we do a lot of our sort of community planning and our parenting work on our phones, and that's just a fact of life, right? So it makes a lot of sense too that some of the connected home work that we do would also migrate to our phones, like that, and also that moms are getting, I think, more comfortable with that fact and not as ashamed of it maybe as we were maybe 10 years ago.
It's definitely both. You have the smart home is broadening enough that more people are coming into it. It's not just like, the geeky dad with a really confusing Harmony remote or something that everyone was afraid to touch. Now it's starting to become more mass adoption, and same time, guys are getting more excited about gadgety baby tech. Yeah. So it's been really fun. Well, let's walk through a couple of, the stuff that I use for Harrison, as well as we're using for Ellie.
Hear it.
Okay. I love we'll start like with Baby, but the Snoo, surprisingly really cool. I had never heard of it. When we found out we were having our first kid, my friend was like, oh, are you going to get one of those $2,000 Snoo things? I'm like, I don't know what words you're saying, but probably not. We ended up getting one for Harrison. We're like, oh man, we need another one for Ellie. Like, that thing, like, obviously we can just use a regular bassinet, but it was so good. We really, really wanted to use it again. So we got another one for the second kid. Probably should have just bought it or bought a used one or some other thing, but it works really well. It's a little scary the first time because of how much that it rocks them. But after literally you start to Google Snoo, it's like, is it safe? Like, that's like the first auto-populate, and there's like all these Reddit threads and like, yes, you're okay. So now
Right.
we feel more comfortable with it, and
Yeah.
Ellie is loving it. Like she's sleeping like a champ, and just the
Yeah.
little things of soothing them to keep them back down.
Yeah.
I also didn't know. This is a
I'm
rookie
sorry.
move on my part. I didn't know their arms could come out of there. I thought they always had to be like at their side, but no, they have armholes that once they're a little bit older, another couple months or something, they can have their arms out, and that would have been great for Harrison because he just wiggled his arms and took them out anyway. So
Well, I'm
now we
glad to hear
know.
that it's
But
working for you. It's an incredibly, incredibly popular product. As you know, it was developed by a pediatrician. The SNU is one of several bassinets that Consumer Reports tested for. We tested for safety, for ease of use, for ease of assembly, for ease of cleaning. And we've also tested smart bassinets, specifically looking across the different features that smart bassinets offer as compared to traditional bassinets that don't have like smart and soothing features. So the SNU is kind of legendary in the space. It was one of the early smart bassinets. There's a lot of really interesting things I think to talk about with the SNU. Some experts are a little concerned about like the fact that the white noise levels on the SNU can go up higher than like the maximum decibel levels that are allowed. So just make sure you don't turn that max volume all the way up. And some developmental experts don't love that the swaddle kind of keeps your baby maybe from moving around as much as they would like in terms of sort of early motor skill development. But there's so much to like about the SNU, and it scored really well in our bassinet tests, both for safety and for all the other things that we look at. And I will say, like, the cost factor is, it's not nothing with the SNU. So something to
yeah,
be aware of is that you can rent the SNU. So if you're interested in it, they offer a rental program. So you can get it like a sort of like a used or secondhand SNU, basically as a rental. So if that's something that you're interested in as a parent, that's available to you. Something that I want to just mention is when we talk about smart baby products, and the SNU is like an entry in this column, is that a lot of smart baby products now are kind of like on a subscription model, right? So you buy this
really.
product, and first of all, it costs a lot of money, and it's connected to the internet, so there are these sort of data privacy and security issues. We should put a pin in that and return to that topic. So, and then there's also this issue where eventually, in order to access some of the features that you really like about this thing that you dropped all this money on and that you've invested in, you have to buy a monthly or a yearly subscription. So the SNU last year made a lot of headlines because they moved to a subscription model. So if you, after, I think it's like 9 months after you buy a new SNU, after I think it's like 9 months to a year, if you want to continue to access the premium features of your bassinet, you have to opt into a subscription. So, speaking as on behalf of, a nonprofit that tries to, advocate for pro-consumer policies from companies, we had some thoughts about that. We're like, wow, really? Okay. I mean, I get it from a business perspective. Like, these things are expensive to produce. They provide a lot of value for families. We totally understand that. But also, like, wow, these things are $2,000, and then a year down the road you have to pay an additional subscription fee to continue to access the features that you thought you had kind of already paid for when you bought the thing. So just something to be aware of with some of these app connected smart products. The price that you pay to bring the box home might not be the only price that you pay. So be aware of that. Read the manual, look into the user the terms of use, and just know that there might be subscriptions in your future.
Which is a perfect transition to my second product, because this is also a recent change for them that I had not been aware of, because again, when you're outside the space you don't look at it, and then all of a sudden you're dropped into it and things have changed. So we got a Cradlewise. We bought a Cradlewise for Harrison. Loved it. One of my top recommended products. Like you said, the longevity there of, okay, starts as a bassinet, use it for that long, then drop it down and it becomes a crib, and you can use it up until they are 2 years old. And we used it until he was 2 years old before moving him to a regular, toddler bed. And I love that it's like, okay, you've got your baby monitor built in, you've got your white noise built in, you've got like the soothing stuff, like the extra smart tech to it, you have a bassinet, and you have a crib up to a toddler. So like you've got a lot of tech into this. Great. But then, like you said, recently they had switched, I guess. I'm still even trying to figure out what all the extra features are with the subscription. But I know one of them is like the cloud storage for the baby monitor, which I guess makes sense because like we see it with every other smart home camera. It's not like they should be offering free
All
cloud
the
storage.
data. Yeah.
And I think the other thing is people don't, maybe realize how expensive AI is to run. Like the amount of money for every query or something else that's being used is a lot. And they're starting to put more AI tech into like these cameras, which again, we're going to talk about a new baby cam and then get into the privacy stuff right after this. But like that's not free either. So I'm not even sure of all the new features with the CradleWise that comes with that, but I saw they switched as well. So like I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, such a great point, right? Like some of the trade-offs that you're talking about with the really interesting technology that the smart bassinets and the smart monitors will offer you come at a cost to the companies. Then at some point they are going to need to pass that on to the consumer, right? The cost of running the AI, the cost of some of these monitors and bassinets come with access to expert insights, right? So that is a cost that someone needs to carry, right? So like if you want to ask questions about baby sleep or baby feeding, who is answering that, or who is devising those answers? The storage for the video, if you are doing recordings, right? So all of that it carries a real cost, and at some point that becomes part of the subscription fee, I suppose. So yeah, I think that is a trend. I think that we're going to see that continue as these smart devices start to carry more and more features. The subscription model is going to become probably the norm and not the exception. The CradleWise is, it's a really beautiful product. It looks really cool. I really like, to your good point, that it is convertible across a number of different stages of the baby's development. We also tested the CradleWise in our labs and really appreciated a lot of the features, and it scored really well for a lot of the factors that we look at across safety and ease of use. We did have some calibration issues with the bouncing, but we did find that their customer service was very responsive. So some pros and cons for the CradleWise in our lab testing for that product, but glad to hear that you're having a good experience with it.
For sure. I also like when they did introduce the subscription, at least as far as I've seen, they didn't remove any features. That will set me off if like you bought something and then they're like, hey, just kidding. Right. Some of these you're going to have to pay for again. Like that's a real way to make people mad. But I know they kept everything that you bought the crib with, it still does. So your monitoring, the detection, all of that is still the same. They've just added the additional features, added the cloud storage, because before it didn't do that. It just like gave you live view and snapshots and stuff. So now you are getting cloud storage. So there are additional benefits that they have introduced. And I do like that. Like I do like that a product is upgradable and it's getting better over a 2-year span, that you're using it with your toddler.
That's a good point.
So let's get into the privacy a little bit, because this ties in with HomeKit and like HomeKit secure video. One of the things that I would love on a baby cam is HomeKit for many reasons, but like just being able to like even like motion and then it shows up on the TV screen. Like I love that. And it's like, oh, you can take a live view of your baby as like they're wiggling, like, oh, we need to go get them, and it kind of goes away. So like people use it for the doorbell, but it would be just as useful for a baby monitor like that. Or just like people who have, like Apple's going to have their smart home hub display with all their HomeKit cameras you could choose, and pick a few of them just to have a live view on a home screen. It would be great to have a baby monitor integrated into there. And yet we really haven't seen anything tying into HomeKit, and I like it because of how private and secure it is. There's no extra fees. There's no passing stuff to extra third parties and what they're doing with it. It's just all within HomeKit. So I wish we saw more of that. And at CES, I saw the new one from TP-Link, which I think is under their Tapo line. But they have two cameras, a wide one, they have a close one. They're using AI for things to tell you, like, your baby rolled over, there's something covering your baby's face, whatever the other detection things are. But it also supports HomeKit. So like this one to me looks really, really good. But it does raise that question of like, how is it good to send your baby to AI data farms and where, so what should we be looking for here? What are kind of the risks with that? How do you know what is a good one to go with? Do you have a particular, if someone like me who's gadgety and wants like best gadgety, baby monitor, what would you recommend?
Yeah. Well, every family has their own particular comfort level with these questions, right? So I will tell you what Consumer Reports test for and what we evaluate. So we look at baby monitors in terms of the way that we look at baby monitors for data security and data privacy is we apply the same evaluation protocol that we apply to home security monitors. So we're looking at how the device itself handles the data that it receives and transmits, and we're looking at how the company's privacy policy handles your data, right? And how it handles what it receives from you, and whether or not it's giving your data unnecessarily to third parties, and how it handles your privacy. So basically what it's doing is looking for vulnerabilities in both. I will say that in terms of the handling of data on the devices themselves, that's gotten better and better. And over time, I think what we've seen with the handling of personal data, even the best rated devices, tend to rate like a 2 out of 5 in terms of how they handle people's personal data. When you look at like our ratings chart for home security cameras. For a lot of different reasons, what we tend to recommend for most families is that your baby monitor, most families will probably be okay with a local only video monitor for their baby. The quality of the devices themselves has gotten better, so you're getting pretty good video quality, so you can see whether the baby's eyes are open, you can see whether they're breathing, right? Like a lot of the things that we get nervous about. And really all you're losing is the ability to see all of that, like down the block as opposed to just down the hall. A lot of baby monitors these days come with what they call dual mode, so that you can turn on an internet connected or wireless connected mode for your baby monitor if you want to access it while you're on a business trip, for example, so that you can see your baby monitor feed when you're in your hotel room in Omaha or whatever, as opposed to just in your living room.
Yes.
Right.
I love being able to tie into the Cradle Wise when I'm at like CES or something and
So
see the little one sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like, for myself, I can understand wanting to have the option. And so, if for your family, a video only, local only monitor isn't the best choice because you want to have that option, there are 3 things that we recommend to make your internet connected, Wi-Fi connected baby monitor as secure as possible. First of all, use a secure password, change it often, turn on your dual factor authentication, and third of all, make sure that your firmware is updated. Some devices do that automatically, and sometimes you'll just have to make sure that that's happening. So make sure that you're doing everything that you can to improve the security of your internet connected baby monitor if that's the choice that you're making. But I think that for some families, the ability to toggle between local only and wireless connected is worth it. But there's trade-offs, right? So for some families, the ability to have that option is worth it because of all the data that you get and all of the extra features.
I agree. Like I'm one who wants that data, and I do. I really want the HomeKit, and I like to have the Wi-Fi access because I don't know. Like, first off, you have to have two monitors. Like if there's my wife and I like to be able to still pull it out if I'm down here in the studio, but she has the monitor up there. So I really like having Wi-Fi connection. I think it is worth it for our situation. But it's like the AI stuff gets a little creepy because I feel like AI stuff can be creepy, but it also seems so useful. And you do worry, especially for first-time parents, you worry about so many things. Like we bought the owlet, and I love the idea of it, but it became like it was so hard to remember to put it on Harrison's foot because like okay, I'm putting him he's getting into a onesie. Is he going to bed this second? I'm not quite sure yet. And then you have to put it like underneath, it covers his feet, and then I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting to put that thing on. But I loved when I did because it just felt like comforting to know it was monitoring like, his heart rate and all the like other things like that to know that he was like very safe. So I'm so torn on still kind of where
Yeah.
that lies, but I do think I like it.
I know. I can completely understand that. And listen, I'm never going to be one to tell a parent like don't do something that makes you feel more comfortable, right? Like that's not where I sit. I'm not one of those like purists. But I what I want to say to parents, having looked at like a lot of change in this space and a lot of innovation coming through is that no app, again, like no monitor, no smart bassinet, no little sock is ever gonna read your baby better than you will. And when I was in the thick of it and in like week 2 with my newborn, and someone tried to say something like that to me, I was like, please be quiet. Please don't ever say that. I get it. Like, I don't mean to sound patronizing, but like, really, your instincts are worth listening to. And, if it gives you comfort, great, go for it. But, overloading on technology and information that, let's face it, is not free, comes at a pretty high cost. And also, comes with some trade-offs in terms of your family's data privacy. Those are just considerations, right? And every family's got different levels of comfort with, how deeply do you want to read that privacy policy, right?
Yeah.
Like, know what that means for you. That's that's what I would suggest, right? Like if you're comfortable with that, and if it gives you comfort to have that readout, okay, fine, like that's great for you. And then I would say if you can get to a place where you don't need to have 5 apps giving you constant readouts on your baby's breathing, you will have saved a lot of money and maybe saved yourself a little bit of stress too.
See, that's what like, baby monitor especially like just do with the HomeKit secure video. Like
Yeah.
HomeKit video, it is all local. The AI is processed local. Like it is such an easy thing to do there. And then depending on how it's designed, it can just be a security camera after that point. Where it's not just dedicated like you can have the baby features and then still use it as a camera. So I am
Yeah.
shocked that there are not more that are doing that because it gives you like the best. Like it could do the monitor and then do HomeKit, and you're getting the Wi-Fi capabilities with the local stuff without the risk of your data. So I'm like, I just wish we saw more of those things. Well, as we wrap this up, are there any general tech suggestions that you have? Any products that you really like that you think would be fun to for me to check out? Like what's been new in the last 3 years that you think I should go and look at if I want more baby tech gadgety type things?
Yeah, let me think. When we were at the expo, a lot of what we focus on at Consumer Reports is actually product safety. So our focus is on whether or not products are kind of built to not just meet but exceed the current product safety standards. So we were looking for, like, for example, nursing pillows that were built to product safety standards that were just updated this year. We were looking for car seats that were built to, meet or exceed the standards that were just updated this year. But then on the technology side, I would say, I was really interested in the I was interested in the Motorola, the Pippa monitor. And
Never even heard of it.
yeah, which is pretty cool. And a few other pieces that we saw at the expo that we thought were really cool. They're kind of low tech, but there's a glass bottle from Kiko that's actually enclosed in a layer of silicone, so it's like, you know, your baby's nourishment doesn't come in contact with any. It's enclosed in glass, but it's unbreakable, which is pretty cool. So
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of low tech. We're impressed by a lot of the low tech stuff here, I guess. But
That's why I like asking you, because like you can put tech into anything, but it doesn't always make sense. As much as I love all the tech stuff, we don't really have much outside of that. We have like the smart bassinet, we have a smart heater for, you know, the milk or formula or whatever it is going to be. We have shortcuts control for white noise. Those are like the big things. There's a whole lot more out there that I have seen that is so superfluous and unnecessary. So like I like asking you, because you're not just focused on the tech, but there are times when the tech makes things really useful.
it's
So
true. Yeah.
I definitely want to look up the monitor. I don't even know that Motorola makes baby monitors. So I have more to go read up. There's so much to read on. It is too much. We can't even fit it all into this podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It was really great to chat, and congratulations again to you and your growing family. Hope everything is going well.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. I will link the Consumer Reports article down below in the show notes. If you want to learn anything else about what we talked about, I will link a lot of the products that I am currently like using, that we use for Harrison and we're kind of now using for Ellie. I will put those as well in the show notes for you guys to check out if anyone is interested. Otherwise, thank you, Siobhan, for coming. Everybody else, do what you guys do best. You can watch the video version of this over at youtube.com/HomeKitInsider. You can give the podcast a 5, 10, 100-star rating on your podcast player of choice. Otherwise, send me your questions at andrew@appleinsider.com or on any social media network, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.